Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about UFC 305, specifically Israel Adesanya, Dricus Du Plessis. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Recently, Israel Adesanya has had some comments to make in regards to his opponent the night of the UFC 305. Dricus, the current middleweight champion. Obviously, last time around, I want to say just about a year ago, Adesanya lost his title in that octagon against a guy in the name of Sean Strickland. With all fairness, Sean Strickland was ahead the entirety of the time that fight, pushed Adesanya back the entirety of the time. Why did Adesanya look the way that he did? Well, two reasons. Either Strickland was that good that night, or Adesanya was lacking a bit of what he possesses, which is his best. That was certainly not Adesanya's best. Now, if there's one thing that we have to take into consideration is that after Adesanya loses, and that's in the UFC as of late, he always comes back to win the very next fight. The fight after Guahovic, and the very last time when Pereira beat him, he came back to beat Pereira in their fourth fight. Second fight in the UFC, fourth fight total. That was the only time that he actually beat Alex Pereira, the guy that actually went on to conquer the light heavyweight division and possibly the heavyweight division at some point. Now, that being said, I just had to mention the Alex Pereira win just because that was a gigantic win. I don't think people really realize how big the win was against Alex Pereira, one of the scariest fighters on that roster. Perhaps, aside from Francis Ngannou, he is probably the most feared fighter as of late in the UFC. I do understand that people may bring up names, but we're just talking reality here. Alex Pereira is one of the most feared fighters in the UFC currently, and there's no doubt about that. That being said, Adesanya comes back to defeat Pereira. What I'm trying to say here is that after Adesanya loses, he comes back with a heightened level of focus, and for whoever stands in front of him, I kind of have sympathy, and in this case, it's going to be Dricus, the current middleweight champion. I said in the beginning of the year, even before Dricus won the title, I said that this middleweight title will exchange hands a couple of times this year, 2024. It's already have once, and I believe it will again. With all respect to Dricus here, but I really think that the night of UFC 305 is gonna lean more towards Israel Adesanya. We have had some comments made from Adesanya's camp, the likes of Alexander Volkanovski's comments in regards to his teammate and his teammates' preparation for the upcoming fight, night of UFC 305 against Dricus in Perth, Australia, that is. And everything kind of seems like we will, it seems like it's shaping up to be that we will see prime Israel Adesanya come the night of August 17th, I believe, UFC 305. Israel Adesanya has had some comments to make recently in regards to that fight specifically. He thinks that his own striking is way too much for a Dricus. He thinks that his striking is levels above Dricus. And I've actually said this about Adesanya before. Striking solely, nobody stands toe-to-toe with Israel Adesanya. That's just a fact. Striking solely. I did not mention wrestling. And I really do believe that if Dricus wants to win this fight, not only does he have to utilize striking, but he has to utilize wrestling. This is going to be a very interesting fight. I'm not coming over here and claiming that it's going to be an easy fight for Adesanya, but I most certainly expect to see a focused Adesanya a Adesanya that's in peak condition come the night of UFC 305. Everything's kind of hinting to it. And recent comments that Adesanya's had to make, Adesanya claims that his striking is levels basically beyond Dricus. Will that be the case? Only the night of UFC 305 will be able to unveil this. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.